I'm going to try not to curse so that this may go far and wide and be approved by the YouTube because this is a very, 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 very important topic to discuss. And that is fathers not investing in their daughters, but instead spoiling them. And I wrote this book. I know I keep bringing up on it, but it's because it was on my mind. I've sold it to a different publisher, but you can still get it. Because what has happened in front of us, we all saw it, we all witnessed it, we're still seeing it, is a slow motion train wreck in the form of the millennial generation. And one of the key reasons for their destruction and their demise and their sad, pitiful situation that they're in now is because they spent way too much money on worthless degrees. But out of the millennials, this applies to millennials now, and even more so for Gen Z, is that a disproportionate number of young people who went to college crippled themselves financially for pretty much the rest of their lives were women. Women account for the majority of college students. They account for the majority, I think, of grad students now. I think they're tied for PhDs. But neither here nor there about how many people, what percentages are going to college. What is very critical is what did they go and study? And unfortunately, women at a rate of 2 to 1, twice that of men, major in completely worthless subjects, completely unemployable subjects. And we do not have the time or the luxury with tuition setting people back $150,000 to say, you know about the money. We don't have that time. We don't have that money. And now that we're being asked to bail out people, us hardworking taxpayers, because daddy's little princess majoring in sociology or women's studies or journalism or children's writing or creative writing or whatever, there now is cost being forced on society for what is, frankly, a failure in fatherhood on the part of the baby boomers, the older Gen Xers that raised the millennials. Now, that is all water underneath the bridge. That is spilled milk. There's nothing that can be done in the past. What I am behooving, I'm pleading, beseeching, groveling, begging, whatever you want to call, I'm begging men of today who are raising Gen Z or the little ones that are coming after to learn from the carnage, the wreckage, the slow motion train wreck that is still going on. Oh, the main cabin blew. People are on fire now. All right. It is a disaster. I'm asking you to look at that and be a real man. None of this man up stuff you hear like from traditional conservatives or feminists saying, you need to man up and marry all the single men. No. I'm talking you guys to really man up and have the courage and strength to look at the wreckage and carnage and say, do I have the strength and do I love my daughter enough or my daughters enough to tell them the truth, which is going to temporarily hurt their fifis so that they don't end up like the wreckage, like the total disaster that is young millennial women and some of the older Gen X women today who are just, they're crippled. They're financially crippled. Now, it happens to boys too. I get that. I'm not just saying, oh, let's ignore the boys too. But it's women that are disproportionately affected. They're disproportionately affected younger, not the men, but this lie, they take on this crippling level of debt. They make this life-destroying mistake so early on that it takes the rest of their lives, if they even recover from it, to recover from it. And on top of that, millennials aren't going to listen. They're just not going to listen. Be it the students, the young people themselves, Gen Z, they're not going to, or now their parents, and they know better, and they're making the exact same mistakes the baby boomer parents. So I'm going in now while you have little kids, because I got my little nieces, Lucifer and Geronimo. And I'm like, God dang it, kids. Just come on. Just this one for old Uncle Cappy. Just don't major in stupid stuff. Please listen to the wisdom. And I can't do it myself. I can only influence the people that are around me. But as a father, you guys have a response. You got to play bad cop. Oh, these are sexual roles. These are traditional. Yes, they are, because that's how people are programmed. Moms are going to be motherly and nursing and kind and caring, unless her name's Karen. And you guys have got to be the dads. You got to play the bad. You have to. You use the word no. You're the one that introduces reality to these kids, both your sons and your daughters. But it is the daughters, I think, maybe because maybe you view them, oh, it's daddy's little prince. He's just this Fabergé fragile egg. No, you got to bounce that fragile egg like a basketball. Get it around a little bit. Introduce it to reality. And all the men in the past, the fathers, who are real fathers, by the way, I don't care if you're nuclear family, you're married, and all everything's hunky-dory. If you let your daughter go to an overpriced liberal arts college and maybe in the liberal arts, you have failed. Because now she's coming back home and now she's living at home. She's not producing. She's struggling financially because you didn't have it in your heart. Nothing too good for my little princess. The fathers of young daughters and sons today don't have that luxury. The fathers of yesteryear didn't have that luxury, but they took it anyway, and now you can see the disaster. And so what? And say, why aren't you talking to the mom? Moms, no. Moms are all pie in the sky, cake, bribery, good cop. That doesn't work. No, it's necessary. It's yin and yang. You need that. You need a nursing, motherly, wonderful, caring person. But then you need to say, when your father comes home and you're scared he's going to get the belt, that is two sides of the same coin. So I'm not going to try to explain to mothers or women that you have to tell your daughter, no, you can't follow your dreams and the money will follow. Because they're under that delusion too. That they're still getting whatever. Their masters in children. Their daughters are getting their bachelors in worthless garbage, and the moms are getting their masters or doctorate in worthless garbage. And so I have to be much more practical than this. Okay, and that's why I'm talking to you, dads, because it is your responsibility, gentlemen. You have to introduce reality to your children, and since society is disproportionately targeting girls because they're beautiful, they're the ones that are pretty, they're the ones that the world revolves around when they're young. That's why the predominant, and let's just be honest, the liberal arts and the social sciences, that racket, those thieves are going to target women because they're more prone to, oh, child, I like children, I want to save the world, I don't like math. Oh, hey, for $300,000 and 6 years of your youth, you can go to the University of whatever, Wisconsin-Madison's touchy-feely educational management social work nonprofit degree and pay our professors who are unemployed, and this is their only gig, right, to teach your daughter how to also be unemployed and in crippling levels of debt. They are being targeted. And if you really love your daughter, you're going to have a sit-down, come to Jesus meeting with her and say, dear, we are not paying for a worthless degree. We're not sending you to a Middlebury or some prestigious snot-nosed East Coast just preppy club. You're going to go to, and in fact, if you're real fathers, you'd have lessons with your daughter. Say, you know what? You're smart. Let's get you some classes online. Let's go Western Governors University. Let's see what the university system in our state offers. Let's see if we can get you into college now. Let's take some CLEP classes. Let's go online, see if we get college credit now. Let's not sit and wait until you're 18 for us to start talking about how to learn how to code. Do you want to learn how to code? Let's program a website together. This is your responsibility. You're not just going out there making the money. Okay? You're not just the bring home the bacon breadwinner guy. All right? You are like a barometer. You are this anchor to reality that your children need. And while your daughters and sons, teachers are feeding them full of BS and baloney, this idealism that does not work it does not happen in the real world. And your wife, bless her soul, oh, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, okay, so you're mommy's little girl. Nothing's too good for my... She gurgle. She drank the Kool-Aid. You as a dad need to come in there and say, we're not paying you. And you have to stand up to your wife. And I think is one of the main problems you guys have. Or maybe that's a problem you guys have, but men in the past had. Oh, my wife won't let me. Well, I guess you're not a father then. I guess you don't love your kids as much as you're afraid of your wife, are you? So the arguments of the past of, well, you know, any degree is a good degree. My honey, Mart follow. Gets the foot in the door. It's passion. That may have applied back in the 60s and 70s when tuition was $1.25 per semester, okay? Now there's such a huge price, and then you can learn these things for free at the library or online on the internet, which with the exact same employment prospects. Like, you want to study British history? I had a buddy who majored in British history. Holy cow, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. Especially now, given the internet, he could learn all that stuff for free and have the exact same employment prospects. Okay. So if they want to pursue their hearts and dreams, yeah, fine, go do it for free. You don't need to pay for that. But if you are going to go to college, if you are going to go to school, and you're going to fork over $200, $300, $400, $500 of credit, it's got to count, dads. It's got to count. Because let me tell you what's going to happen if you don't father up. If you don't play the bad cop and you don't tell your daughters no and you don't introduce them to reality, you're going to go along with wifey poo or teacher poo or whatever the propaganda is that follow your heart and the money will follow and chase your dreams, which is a guaranteed formula for failure. Your daughters are going to go major in worthless stuff. They're going to go into crippling levels of debt. You're already living paycheck to paycheck, I'm going to estimate, because wifey poo needs that brand new SUV, and we need to have new countertops. We have to redo the basement. We need to move. We're not in the best school district anymore. Nothing's too good for my little princess. So you're on the ropes financially. Now your daughter comes back with, I hope you didn't do the Parent Plus loan. I hope you didn't co-sign on those debts. Because in 10 years from now, when your daughter can't find a job, she needs to move back, and those loans start coming due that you co-signed, now you're on the hook for that too. And heaven help you if you have a recession like this caused by a pandemic or the financial crisis. Recessions happen. And now your entire family is threatened financially. There's added stress. Your daughter doesn't love you because she's lost and confused. Your wife, and that's when the divorces start to happen. That's when the family breaks up, because you didn't have a spine when you were younger. And what will happen, and it's happening now, is when your precious little princess can't find a job, but you can't support her anymore, but she wants to go out and party and travel, you're going to go to the internet, and at best, they're going to become a Twitch video game player, and they might wear some revealing cleavage. All right. At worst, they end up becoming a webcam girl. Right. And even then, that's they'll actually get out of money that way. That's better than being, I guess, a lady of the evening. But some of them might even do that. Look at seeking arrangement. I'm all for it, by the way. I'm all for it. Okay. For other philosophical reasons, behind the oldest profession in the world. But if you want your daughter to not have to resort to those things, I cannot emphasize the obligation you have to your daughters to instruct them about real world economics and to push them into things like the trades, or to join the military, or to become an accountant, or to major in engineering and STEM and IT and computers and all that. And your job of a dad is not done when you clock out and you come home and you watch your TV show, drinking your light beer, watching the sports ball. There is no sports ball. Watching people talk about sports ball. The sports analyst talking about sports ball that happened last year. Your job, that's one job is done, making the money. Now, your next job is investing in your daughters and your sons. But men are a little bit more resilient. Maybe someday I'll do it different. But right now, the biggest true victim group facing America is young girls, because you have colleges, universities, politicians, marketing, all just setting those girls up for failure, setting up to go into debt, setting up to chase worthless degrees, enrich worthless academics along the way, and to enrich whoever the heck sells Jimmy Choo's shoes or the New York City lifestyle, whatever. Right? You need to get in there and tell your daughters the reality and the importance of choosing the right profession or trade. Right? You also need to get in there and explain that, all right, well, if you want to have kids, right, here's this thing called menopause and how it works, and here's how men really think in the real world. You got to introduce these realities to them, right? Because if you don't, you're not a father. You're a sperm donor, right? There's way too many bleeping sperm donors out there. You guys have got to invest in your children, but especially your daughters' fathers, because, man, if you send those girls out there without some kind of street smart, tough fatherly love, they will be eaten by the wolves. And there are, you think the guys are the wolves. I mean, admittedly, yeah, we are guys, but we all knew that. All of us guys are kind of scum. We admit that. But that's been a given. But this ain't no guy, no matter what his aims with your daughter was, to say, hey, sign over $150,000 in debt, borrow $150,000 and give it to me. No guy has done that. Well, maybe there's a couple guys that snookered some women out of some free lodging. But that's not the biggest threat. Although you should. This is where older brothers come in. Check out my channel, olderbrother.com. But older brother around or not, you are the dad. You need to train your daughters for the real world. And it starts by you introducing a little bit of reality into their career and educational choices. It also is, you know, okay, let me explain boys to you, but you guys, I'm just appalled. I'm shocked. No one invests in their kids anymore. As we're finding out with this little disease going around, people are like, what? I got kids? What do I do with them? I just want to drop them off at daycare and school. Now, I have a couple books that might help. Well, I have some books. Other people have written books. If you don't have the balls to tell your daughters the truth. Here's a book called Worthless. This makes a great graduation gift. It makes a great gift as a freshman in high school. It's just how to choose the right degree or to avoid a worthless one. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong if your daughter just wants to go and work. Doesn't want to go to college. That's better than going $200,000 in debt for a worthless degree to go work a job she could have worked out of high school anyway. I'm still a big fan of trying to skip high school as much as possible and going straight to college. Bachelor Pad Economics, I know it is written for men, but the laws of finance and economics are universal for everyone. So what's written in here is tough locker room talk with the target of men in mind. But it applies to women too. It's not like there's different codes and rules and regulations in the IRS or the laws of economics. You know, 401ks are the same for men or women. Though I did not publish this book, I have contributed to it, How Not to Become a Millennial. God, if you're going to have kids, period, please, fathers, any aspiring fathers, please get this book. This is basically how not to screw up like the boomers did. Okay, this is vital. And I think it's $27, $28. That's cheaper than a divorce, don't you think? All right, so there you go. All right, Django Geek for $5. We'll bang through the super chats because I like money. Good news, graduated physics, bachelor's of science. I got a job in engineering. Yeah. All three little cousins want to be engineers now, and their favorite class is math. Oh, that's great, Django Geek. That's awesome. Okay, good. Save those little rug rats. I tried. The little ones, my nieces are still too young. I still just feed them full of sugar. But the days come, Uncle Aaron's gonna talk about math, and we're gonna look at finance. I did buy him a silver dollar on their birth dates. So they kind of learned the numbers and the value of money. And then I got them old Indian head pennies from the 1800s. And they think that's really cool because it's from the 1800s, which is like millions of years ago. You know, it's, oh, wow. Like, oh, this is old. Look how old this is. And they think it's really cool. So hopefully that'll get them there. So, all right. There's links to all my stuff down below. Just click on the book links. Go I can't curse. Invest in your daughters, guys. Don't spoil them. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.